Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah and the truth. I am excited to announce that next week on Tuesday, me and one of my close brothers in Yahuah are going to be starting a new live show. We're going to be discussing topics about the jab, graphene oxide. We're also going to be discussing stuff about the firmament and about the lands on the other side of the Antarctic, because I noticed that some people liked the post I did where it showed some of the maps about the lands across there, and I found out that my brother has some research on some of that stuff, and the Admiral Byrd, he did some of the expeditions to try to research some of those places. So I hope you guys will join us for our lives. They will be on Tuesdays at 1 Eastern time. So today, since I haven't done it in a while, we are going to be starting with the CEPHER. I have quite a bit of schoolwork this week, so I don't know how often I'm going to be able to do videos this week, so I'm going to try my best to do as many as I can. Alright, so 2 Maccabees 8 we are on. Then Yahuah Maccabee, and they that were with him, went privily into the towns, and called their kinsfolk together, and took unto them all such as continued in the Yahudim's faith, and assembled about 6,000 men. And they called upon Yahuah, that he would look upon the people that was trodden down of all, and also pity the temple profaned of wicked men, and that he would have compassion upon the city, sore defaced, and ready to be made even with the ground, and hear the blood that cried unto him, and remember the wicked slaughter of harmless infants, and the blasphemies committed against his name, and that he would show his hatred against the wicked. Now when Yahuah Maccabee had his company about him, he could not be withstood by the heathen, for the wrath of Yahuah was turned into mercy. Therefore he came at unawares, and burnt up towns and cities, and got into his hands the most commodious places, and overcame and put to flight no small number of his enemies. But specially he took advantage of the night for such privy attempts, so much so that the fruit of his kodeshness was spread everywhere. So when Philip saw that this man increased by little and little, and that things prospered with him still more and more, he wrote unto Ptolemy, the governor of Selo and Aram and Phoenicia, to yield more aid to the king's affairs. Then forthwith choosing Nicanor, the son of Patroclus, one of his special friends, he sent him with no fewer than 20,000 of all nations under him, to root out the whole generation of the Yahudim. And with him he joined also Gorgias, a captain who in matters of war had great experience. So Nicanor undertook to make so much money of the captive Yahudim as should defray the tribute of 2,000 talents, which the king was to pay to the Romaim. Wherefore immediately he sent to the cities upon the sea coast, proclaiming a sale of the captive Yahudim, and promising that they should have 80 bodies for 1 talent, not expecting the vengeance that was to follow upon him from Yahuah Al Shaddai. Now, when word was brought unto Yahuah of Nicanor's coming, and he had imparted unto those that were with him that the army was at hand, they that were fearful and distrusted the justice of Yahuah fled, and conveyed themselves away. Others sold all that they had left, and withal besought Yahuah to deliver them from being sold by the wicked Nicanor before they met together. And if not for their own sakes, yet for the covenants he had made with their fathers, and for his Kodesh and glorious namesake by which they were called. So Yahuah Maccabee called his men together unto the number of 6,000, and exhorted them not to be stricken with terror of the enemy, nor to fear the great multitude of the heathen who came wrongly against them, but to fight manfully, and to set before their eyes the injury that they had unjustly done to the Kodesh place, and the cruel handling of the city, whereof they made a mockery, and also the taking away of the government of their forefathers. For they said, he trusted in their weapons and boldness. But our confidence is in Yahuah, who Al Shaddai, who at a beck can cast down both them that come against us, and also all the world. Okay, sorry, I had to get up and check my phone. I can't send text messages with my watch. And she wants to follow me everywhere, and I didn't want to make her feel abandoned because she followed me in the bedroom to lay down next to me. Oh, my Bella Bean. I love you. Say Shalom. Shalom, everybody. And Bella loves Yahuah too. Moreover, he recounted unto them what helps their forefathers had found, and how they were delivered, when under Cancheriv 184,500 perished. And he told them of the battle that they had in Babel with the Galatim, how they came but 8,000 in all to the business, with 4,000 Macedonians, and that the Macedonians, being perplexed, the 8,000 destroyed 120,000, because of the help that they had from Shamayim, or heaven, and so received a great booty. Thus, when he had made them bold with these words, and ready to die for the Torah and the country, he divided his army into 4 parts. Sorry, Bean. And joined with himself his own brethren, leaders of each band, to wit, Shimon and Joseph and Jonathan, giving each one 1,500 men. Also he appointed Eleazar to read the Kodesh CEPHER, and when he had given them the watchword, the help of Yahuah himself leading the first band, and by the help of Yahuah Al Shaddai, they slew above 9,000 of their enemies, and wounded and maimed the most part of Nicanor's host, and so put all to flight, and took their money that came to buy them, and pursued them far, but lacking time they returned, for it was the day before the Shabbat, and therefore they would no longer pursue them. So when they had gathered their armor together and spoiled their enemies, they occupied themselves about the Shabbat, yielding exceeding praise and thanks to Yahuah, who had preserved them unto that day, which was the beginning of mercy distilling upon them. And after the Shabbat, when they had given part of the spoils to the maimed, and the widows and orphans, the remnant they divided among themselves and their servants. When this was done, and they had made a common supplication, they besought the merciful Yahuah to be reconciled with his servants forever. Moreover, of those that were with Timotheus and Bacchides, who fought against them, they slew above 20,000, and very easily got high and strongholds, and divided among themselves many spoils more, and made the maimed orphans widows, yea, and the aged also, equal in spoils with themselves. And when they had gathered their armor together, they laid them up all carefully in convenient places, and the remnant of the spoils they brought to Jerusalem. They slew also Philarches, that wicked person who was with Timotheus, and had annoyed the Yahudim many ways. Furthermore, at such time as they kept a feast for the victory in their country, they burnt Callisthenes that had set fire upon the Kodesh gates, who had fled into a little house, and so he received a reward meet for his wickedness. As for that most ungracious Nicanor, who had brought 1,000 merchants to buy the Yahudim, he was through the help of Yahuah brought down by them, of whom he made least account, and putting off his glorious apparel and discharging his company, he came like a fugitive servant through the midland unto Antioch, having very great dishonor, for that his host was destroyed. Thus he that took upon him to make good to the Romaim their tribute by means of captives in Jerusalem, told abroad that the Yahudim had Yahuah Elohim to fight for them, and therefore they could not be hurt, because they followed the Torah that he gave them, the instructions that he gave them. Okay, sorry, Greenbug. Okay, so now it is time to praise Yahuah, one of Ella's favorite parts. Let me see. My phone. Alright. That's not one of my favorites. Oh. Okay, here's one. Hear my words of displeasing and promise. If you ever find yourself captive of this life, take a good hard look in the mirror. Yahuah equipped us to stomp upon the serpent's neck and to crush the scorpion. Yahuah will save you from the hells of this life. First he will teach you patience, obedience, and endurance. How are we to battle the wicked without first being equipped? You fight wickedness with wisdom, truth, and power of the Ruach HaKodesh. Do not be like the wicked of this life. Learn how to fight in Ruach and in truth. If you see one in need, help your neighbor, for he is your brother. She may be your sister in Mashiach. Be wise as the serpent and pure as a dove. Yahuah will never leave nor forsake us, 'cause his love comes from above. For he is the one that made us. For Yahuah's loving kindness is everlasting, and our reward is immortality and everlasting life. For he holds the keys to the kingdom, the gate to everlasting paradise. I hope you guys enjoyed that song. I haven't sang that one in a long time. I love you all with an everlasting love, as our Abba Yahuah in the Shamayim loves each and every one of us. Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah in the truth.